On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
When we take into consideration how we feel and let that lead us, and we look at the results that come along with it, I don't understand how we still standing on this idea of feeling and love and all of that stuff as even remotely being a factor as to why we should or shouldn't marry somebody. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, and listen, and the crazy thing is,
we're gonna go to K next. Go ahead, Brilla.
Listen, I think the thing that you think I'm saying is leading with love, and I conceded the fact that that's not what you're leading with, but it is a factor. And Anton, I rock with you 7 ways to Sunday, dude. You're never gonna convince me that you bought your girl a car because it was a good business arrangement. And I'm not talking about
because I'm not talking about if you look at the story. If you look at the story, first of all, the car was in my name. So if it didn't work out, it was coming back to me. That's number one.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure y'all get these likes up right now. Also, take the moment to subscribe to the channel. Marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons. Are women destroying the image of marriage? I'm going to read that again. Marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons. Are women destroying the image of marriage? I'm going to start with you, Brilla. Are they destroying the image of marriage, in your opinion?
Man, so the first part that caught me was marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons. So look, let me answer the question first. So are women destroying the image of marriage? If we look at the way that marriage is being portrayed, if we look at, media, and if we look with our own 2 eyes, we look at women that file for divorce, at record rate numbers, and we talking about Black women. And we look at just what we see, right? I do understand that men in this day and time really have no hope, no incentive to want to go out there and get married. They really just like, man, look, I can get to the bag. I can get me a bust down. I can get me a thought and bop and keep it moving. It's not creating legacy. It's not creating family. So on the one end, I definitely say that women contribute to destroying the image of marriage, right? But that marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons, man, that's the part that struck me. And I don't want to get too personal, but I will say this. This ties back into the first part of knowing your purpose and attracting the people that's supposed to be with you on your path. That includes the mate that you're supposed to attract and align yourself with and make this life's journey with. That includes that person too.
Okay.
So wait. Before you move on though, JR, really, because I know in a previous show, we had a disagreement about the whole idea behind or the premise or the foundation of what marriage is. Do you still stand on the idea, because you said making this life's journey with, do you still stand on the idea that marriage is about love? Because you didn't address the part of marrying for the wrong reasons, right? What are the wrong reasons?
Well, so let me tell you this, and I'll give you my perspective. So I do understand your perspective in terms of marrying as a business. I do concede that there's relevance in that. I will never concede that that's the totality of marriage. I do think there's love involved in a sense, right? But marrying. So why? So let me give. My bad. No, you're good. But let me give you the marrying for the wrong reason part. When you find yourself, and this is, listen, man, I've been doing a deep dive with a lot of brothers around men who marry women. And I've even seen this said about me, like he's not married to the mother of his children. I was married to the mother of my children for 10 years. I was in a relationship that I was in that relationship 9 years longer than what I needed to be. You hear what I'm saying? Marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons, because I didn't want my son to grow up the way that I grew up without my dad. And in essence, it's still happening.
So what are the right reasons though? What's the wrong reason?
So the right reason is when you align with your purpose, right? And you're attracting, because I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in the law of seed time and harvest. When you attract the person to you that's aligned with your vision, your mission, your purpose, that's who you marry for the right reason.
So you're still basing it off of love, then?
No. I don't.
Okay. So let me ask it this way. Because if it's about love, or if love needs to be included in the foundation by which you get married, right? Desire, attraction, whatever that is, whatever we align with love, right? Why are arranged marriages so much more successful than the ones that we choose for ourselves?
So when you talk about, and this is the thing, arranged marriages are you saying they're successful in Western culture? Because we definitely don't find that to be the case. We find
marriage
that
is marriage. Whatever culture you want to.
No. Wait. Hold on, Court. In indigenous cultures, and in, if you refer to African, Eastern cultures where that's practiced, arranged marriages, that's where we find that they're successful. And we base that on basically how long they're together, right? But in Western culture, and I think we talked about this on another show, bro, when those women get over here, what's the first thing they do? Go buck wild. They go buck wild, they file for divorce, and they're out there thotting and bopping.
It's not true. It's not true.
You don't think that? Okay.
I know it's not true. I have a lot of friends that are Indian. I have a lot of friends that are Asian. I got friends in so many different cultures. And I know a lot of Indian girls, young, beautiful, and their parents selected their spouse. They had no say-so whatsoever, and they are successfully married. They adore this dude, whatever, so on and so forth. But again, my question still stands. If it's more about love, or love is more relevant?
That's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm not saying this. Hold on, listen. Let me finish the question. If love is relevant when it comes to the foundation, the reason why you get married, why are marriages that are arranged much more successful, have a long history, a track record of being much more successful than us being able to select our own spouse based off of our own desires?
You're putting that back to me? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is what I said. I conceded the point that I do understand what you say when you talk about marriage being a business. I will never concede that you don't factor love in, especially in Western culture. You don't never factor love in. I would also push back continuously against the point that if you're saying arranged marriages in Western culture survives and thrives better than, listen, man, at the end of the day, you got some people that's at a point now where they're making deals. They're finding the best deal that's available for them. They're coming to the table and they're negotiating based on what's best for them. So if I had to if I'm sitting up here and I'm talking to a young blood now, my premise is still going to be the same, bro. You don't necessarily have to lead with your heart going into your relationship, going into your marriage. Obviously, you have to factor other things in. Is she a fit? Does she align? Is she cooperative? Is she aligned with your vision and your mission? These are definitely 1000% the things that I would tell a young blood. Anton, you're an anomaly, bro. At 22,
I'm not.
At 22, I watched your show.
I'm not. But you watch my mom. She groomed us. My father groomed all of my uncles. And the 7 on my mom's side, 2 on my dad's side. All 3 of my brothers. All of us are successfully married. All of us got married young. As a matter of fact, couple of my brothers got married younger than I did at 22 years old. It's not an anomaly. It's a track record of success. That's what it is. It's a track record of success.
And we had this conversation before, so I don't want to rehash that either. We had this conversation before because I said, if you weigh your tribe out versus the landscape of Detroit, what would we find? Right? And you said, yeah.
We find a lot of people that's trying to marry based off of their desires and love. That's what we'll find.
Potentially. I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with that. And I wouldn't advise anybody to lead with that, but I wouldn't also say you don't factor that in, bro. When I listen to you tell your story of you and your wife, bro, there's no way you're going to convince me that you didn't factor in the fact that you loved her. You know what I'm saying?
Love was not a factor when I married my wife.
Bro, listen.
That don't mean that I don't love her.
Wait, hold on.
Or that I haven't grown to adore her or love with her. But as far as
one at a time.
If love was a factor, then that wouldn't have been the case. I would not have married her. If love was the foundation of our relationship,
I didn't say
it would not have been. It would not have been a marriage
variable at all. Listen,
no.
Bro. Okay.
Go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, I was just telling Rilla, like, the reason why marriages that are arranged work more because it's not about love. It's about wealth and legacy. And that's it. They understand it's a business. We on this side don't look at it like that. We look at it as emotions and feelings, and that's why we fail.
So, and
that's the reason why.
In the United States, wait, Court, can you point me to the statistics in the United States where we have arranged marriages that are successful in the United States, and love doesn't factor in at all?
Because the thing is, we don't have arranged marriages here.
You said what?
We don't have arranged marriages here.
They do. You
have it in sub communities, but as far as a whole, as far as being Americanized, and that's one thing about being Americanized is that we are all free will. We are free willing to do anything that we want.
I'm with you on that.
And that comes with marriage, and we can marry, and now you can marry anything you want. Probably in 15 years, you can marry your dog.
Sure. I'm with you on that.
So that's the thing. We just have it all out in the open.
But this is the thing, though. Because, see, we're saying arranged marriages are successful. And I'm saying when you're talking about indigenous cultures, what are we measuring?
They're not indigenous.
Okay, so
let me say this. Let me say this last thing.
Hold on. When you talk about arranged marriages, these arranged marriages are wealthy people. When you look at Dubai,
I could get with that.
If you look at Saudi Arabia,
no.
The most wealthiest people are.
And Jared Kushner, I could get with that.
If you look at England, if you look at the queens and the kings that in England, it's arranged.
Are they? But listen, this is what I'm saying.
They are.
So again, this is what I'm saying because we're talking about successful, right? So how I'm assuming how Anton bases success is how long they married and their contribution to society. So if I look at an elite level, again, on this show, we're not talking always elite. We're talking everyday Joe Blow.
Here's the thing.
Everyday Joe Blow. I know. Everyday Joe Blows.
The everyday Joe Blow doesn't mean you can't be elite. This is one of the things that might help you become elite. It's partner with a woman that's like-minded, that's going to help you on your vision, get you to another top tier that you're not at. Who you marry can determine your wealth.
I agree with you.
So that's why
let me tell you something.
No, I agree.
I'm gonna let y'all rock. But I just want to say this last thing. And my wife will tell you, I sat her down when she started to when I realized that she was going to start to play a role in my life as far as me navigating and transitioning over from us just looking at it like a friendship and to this being the woman that I wanted to marry. I sat her down and I say, yo, you're going to have to understand this, that, and so. This is forever. This is who I am. This is what you're going to run into. These are the problems that's going to arise here or there. This is what my family is like. You need to make an informed decision, and I'm going to let you sit on that for a little while. And then we're going to revisit this conversation a week from now. And I forced her to start looking at things outside of her googly eyes for me and start paying attention to the other factors that came along with marriage. I helped her to understand we don't get divorced in this family. You know what I'm saying? Like this is we gonna build a whole empire together. If we wind up having a kid, they have to be married, you know, be in a 2-parent household. Like, it was all straight talk. It was no games being played. It was not on that extra stuff. So once we got past that, and once I helped her to realize exactly why we needed to move differently when it came to relationships versus what she was raised to think versus what she seen when she was growing up, it became a whole different conversation. And the foundation of our relationship, obviously, it grew to have love and whatever, so on and so forth. But the foundation is not that. People don't even love, like, tomorrow. You might even not even like the person that you sit next to. Looks fade.
Facts.
All these things that we base our relationship on, sex, all this other type of stuff, all that stuff is a variable. It comes, it goes. The desire level comes and goes based off of whether you even like the person that you sit next to and they pissed you off yesterday. But the foundation of our relationship is much stronger, much bigger, based in spirituality, based off of true friendship, all these things. It's the reason why I can come to her and proactively say what I'm really thinking. I don't have to tiptoe around because we best friends first. But my point then becomes, again, when we take into consideration, because a lot of people don't even know, you're not even the same person dating you was a month ago. When we take into consideration how we feel and let that lead us, and we look at the results that come along with it, I don't understand how we still standing on this idea of feeling and love and all of that stuff as even remotely being a factor as to why we should or shouldn't marry somebody. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, and listen, and the crazy thing is,
we're gonna go to K next. Go ahead, Brilla.
Listen, I think the thing that you think I'm saying is leading with love, and I conceded the fact that that's not what you're leading with, you know, but it is a factor. And Anton, I rock with you 7 ways to Sunday, dude. You're never gonna convince me that you bought your girl a car because it was a good business arrangement. And I'm not talking about
because
I'm not talking about
if you look at the story, first of all, the car was in my name. So if it didn't work out, it was coming back to me. That's number one. Number two, I wanted her to be able to get to and from where she needed to go without having to depend on me or the bus system in order to travel a long way back and forth. So it freed me up to be able to do the things that I wanted to do and ensured that she could become successful in taking care of the business that she needed to take care of on a daily basis. It's absolutely a business decision.
Anton, you didn't listen, bro. You talk all the time about how you was the Punani slayer, bro. You did not buy cars for everybody.
My mom told you that.
I watched.
My mom told you that. My mom told you that.
Hey, listen, I'm just telling you.
My mom told you that.
Convince me that love wasn't a factor with you in the midst.
Pull up on me. Pull up.
Convince me of that. And I hear you, JR, with that sound effect. That's cool. And this is where we can agree to disagree on that. Obviously, you made strategic, prioritize planning, all that. Great. You dig what I'm saying? You're not going to convince me love wasn't a factor for you and your girl getting together. And that's no man. None of us are cyborgs.